the racist SNES Mini. And I didn't hear it. You heard about this online?
I've heard about it. You know, I get fed a bunch of those trash YouTubers that comment on things. Like, I'm sure you've been serviced Mad Little Pixel, right?
That sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, he's like a YouTuber, and he like reviews stuff every day. I would guess maybe a little bit older than us. But he always does like a point of view shots of the thing, and he's always like wiggling his hands, like pointing at it with his hands like this, like, oh, this thing is over here. And he's I don't really actually listen to his videos. Like sometimes they'll autoplay, and I see his hand like go into frame, like jiggling like that toward whatever he's reviewing.
How old do you suppose he is?
I would guess maybe like early 40s.
Oh,
that'd be my guess.
I was you remember Ego Raptor, the animator, Game Grumps guy?
Yeah,
Aaron. He did that fairly famous little series, Sequelitis. He compared Castlevanias, and the one that a lot of people know is he compared Link to the Past to Ocarina of Time, and he kind of dunked on Ocarina of Time for being Actually, I think a lot of really valid criticisms that are much more valid for modern games than they are for Ocarina of Time. Like elongating the playtime, sort of superficially, and not giving you that like quite the same. He probably loves Breath of the Wild, though. Come to think of it, like the idea of the game enticing you to explore and to try new things and blah blah blah. But I don't bring it up to talk about Zelda games. I bring it up because I having rewatched it for the first time in years. That video came out in like 2011. And he's got this style about him where he's like, I just want to go to, can I go up to the chest? I will go to the chest. Go to chest, go get grass. He keeps doing like whatever that is.
Oh my God, I'm amazed. Who cares that he's amazed? I want to be amazed. Just show the fucking treasure already. I beat the dudes blocking it. I climbed the ladder or whatever and got here. Why do I gotta wait?
Well, JonTron used to do like an abbreviated version of that, like kind of where he would stumble over his words and stuff like that, and on purpose. I think I did that a little bit too. I think it was a style at the time.
That was the style at the time. That's why I bring it up. It's because I feel like there was an era of comedy that was just look at it.
You don't throw a 6-year-old into a sandbox and say, "Hey, you can only make poopy castles." You know when you take wet sand and you just let it drip on top of a pile of sand? It's a poopy castle.
Yeah, like maybe an animated hand would come and point at it.
Look at it.
And then
and I think that fed like a reservoir directly into Zoomer humor.
Yeah, I think so.
They picked that up and they said, "Okay, this is what we'll be about. We'll scream."
Oh, we were about to talk about like a Chinese system that had racist games on it.
I don't have a lot to say about it, is the truth of it. So,
okay, yeah.
Well, the newscast itself that he sent me, it's like a 5-minute newscast. It's pretty funny because they were like, it looks like a Super Nintendo. It feels like a Super Nintendo. It even has the same box. It doesn't at all. It looks like a fucking Chinese knockoff.
It looks like a Chinese knockoff.
It seems like a normal gaming system, but it's far from it. The Super Mini SN02 preloaded with 800 games looks nearly identical to the original Nintendo SNES. Even the packaging is nearly a perfect copy.
Oh my gosh, a Chinese knockoff has weird stuff in it?
It looks exactly like a miniature version of the old Super Nintendo.
Taylor Turley's 5-year-old son was gifted the console for Christmas, and she was ready to share some gaming nostalgia with him.
Yeah, it's like ROM hacks of NES games where like they have like the it was like McDonald's kids or whatever, but they're like they like
why?
Why? But she quickly realized some of the preloaded games included offensive or racist language and pornographic material, like this image of what appears to be 2 naked children in a tent. The book there labeled porn, and one with a sexually explicit character that looks like Ronald McDonald, along with an email account.
We can't show you what Ronald's doing.
But it's not good.
But he would love to see you smile. Yeah, and then,
There's like an email address.
yeah, that was some guy was like, email me. Email me tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll show you the rest of Ronald McDonald's penis. Yeah, it could have been just like an archive.com of like somebody from 1999's ROM hack folder. Who knows?
And the mom that they're talking to, she's like kind of bummed out on it, understandably. And she goes, there's one game, I was looking forward to playing it. It was, I think, Mario 2.
There's another game that is supposed to be like Mario 2, I believe. And it's called Black Man 2 once you get into the game. And I don't know how to describe it. It's pretty racist.
Yeah.
And they blur out the whole screen.
So it leaves it to the imagination. It's like, what are they doing?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm...
And it begs the question of like, did this particular ROM hacker make a Black Man 1 and a Black Man 3? Or is there only a Black Man 2?
Yeah, it's like a Goonies 2 kind of phenomenon,
It's pretty funny. I don't know that I personally, if I was like the editor at that news station, I don't know that I'd be like, let's run it.
Let's run it.
I don't know. Yeah, like the big thing to me was just like, there's a trillion nasty, like knockoff things on Amazon. And well, I think they pointed out like it made it to like the Walmart site. It's interesting, isn't it? That like, I still think of, because Walmart is a retail establishment, that it's not just going to have total nonsense on its online store, but it does. It's the same crap as Amazon.
Yeah, it's because it's an aggregate. So there's sellers on there. So there's some people selling weird Chinese devices on Walmart and Amazon and everything.
Super Black.
And
Man
then
too.
even like that Five Below store will sometimes have like really cheap Chinese handhelds, and that's loaded up with random ROMs on it. And who knows where they're getting that? They probably just got something like off of a truck somewhere, off of a dock, and they're like, I guess we're selling this.
We're finding the sugar.
Yeah, and they're like, we'll sell this for $5.
Before you had an Ambernick device, when you would come across like, it's 45 games in this little $40 red thing, and like it looks to have Contra and stuff like that. Did that ever appeal to you? It did to me. I was like, maybe I should buy one.
Yeah, they would have them at mall kiosks, and it was before, it was even before like the Retron 5s or whatever, those ones where you could put carts in. Yeah, they would sell them at kiosks. They would take all the logos off all the loading screens, which is really strange. Like, I don't know if that's like they won't know what game it is if we take the logo off the title screen, because they would show Contra, but it would just be like press start instead of the Contra logo there. And and they would have variations on the same. They would like have a list of like, it says 1,000 games, and it would have like just variations on like Contra, but you have 100 lives. Contra, but you're Black Man. Contra, but and they actually had a I remember they had like a zapper too, that like a really cheap Chinese zapper that would go with it too.
I mean, in fairness, all the playable characters in Mario 2 are white. Maybe it's time.
Maybe it's time for Black Man. I'm not going to even guess what the power-ups were going to be. It's Ronald McDonald's penis.
The ROM hacks cross into each other. It's me again.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.